cold here.
Oh,
This meeting is being recorded.
Good.
much colder than New Zealand.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Well, we
wow.
came via Australia and it was 40 degrees in Australia and it was 0 here.
Wow.
So it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit was quite a shock. Centigrade, sorry.
Yes, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
good. Well, I might mute myself now.
So David, Madam Jo or Josephine, she will be screen sharing the certificate when you call the participant.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I've also got all of the certificates attached to emails, which I'm going to send out immediately after this meeting. So let's see who's here. So people who've done the course, people who are celebrating the completion of the course. We've got Lipo and Diang and KY, Beatrice, Niha and Aini. So well done for being here. I know that not everybody will be able to make it because of other things going on, but it's great that you're able to be with us to mark this this occasion. And well, for people who haven't met me before, I'm David Heathfield, and I ran this course, Creative and Engaging Storytelling for Teachers. Oh, look, Safwan is just coming in as well. I ran this course for the Dao project, and with Mr. Edek, Sihajwan Edek, who we worked together to arrange this course. And I want to appreciate all of the work that you've done, Sihajwan Edek. You've done a lot of work in the background to coordinate this, to promote the course, to find the best participants to do the course. So that's a great job you've done, and it's made possible because of the Simon Greenall Award. And representing the Simon Greenall Award team, we're lucky that that Charlie and Jill Hadfield are with us. As we were just saying, Charlie and Jill have just returned to the UK and live very close to where I am in the southwest, but usually they live in New Zealand on the other side of the world. But I think everyone else in the room is from Malaysia. I think. Am I right that you're all in Malaysia, apart from me and Charlie and Jill?
Yes, we are all Malaysians. Yes, we are from Malaysia.
Wonderful. So this is a Malaysian event.
Yes.
This is where you are. Yeah, so a big thank you to the Simon Greenall Award, Adrian Underhill, who also helped to coordinate. And Adrian Underhill sends a message. Adrian Underhill, who helped also to put this course together, says, on behalf of the Simon Greenall Award team, congratulations to all of you on behalf of the Simon Greenall Award. We wish you a happy celebration event today and success with your ventures in the future. So that's a personal message from Adrian Underhill representing the Simon Greenall Award. And perhaps Charlie and Jill would like to say something at the end of the meeting, having kind of just heard about the incredible success of all of you doing this storytelling course. I learned a huge amount. Oh look, Jill Florent is just coming into the room, so we'll just let Jill come in, because Jill Florent is very much part of the Simon Greenall Award. She, let's just wait for Jill to come in. She's just joining at the moment. Hello, Jill. She's connecting to audio. Okay, yeah. We'll just give Jill a moment because this would be a good moment. Hello, Jill.
Hi.
Hi, David here. Hi, Jill. I'm just beginning the meeting, and I was just talking about the Simon Greenall Award and how this course is made possible by this generous funding. So I don't know if you want to say anything at this point or whether you would like to say something at the end of the meeting.
Well, I might not manage to stay for the whole meeting, so I'd just like to congratulate everyone and say how thrilled I am that you've been able to do this, and well done.
Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you. It's been a great experience. For me personally, I have learned a huge amount. I've learned a lot about the mythology, the folk tales, I kind of think of them as warning tales, because so many of the stories that I've learned have a kind of, a very harsh ending, but they're warning us about human behavior and frailties. That's part of the tradition of folk traditions all around the world, and certainly it's prevalent in the local stories around different regions of Malaysia. But they're also kind of karmic, aren't they? What goes around comes around. These are the consequences of human weaknesses. I've learned so many stories about, well, for example, buaya, the crocodile, and well, other creatures. I've learned about landscape stories, how the rock that devoured the bride, the story that Beatrice told me, how these stories fixed in the landscape have so much myth in them. And I think that's true all around the world. These rocks and mountains and ravines and rivers and lakes often have their mythology around them, but it's so prevalent in the stories that you've been sharing. So you've brought Malaysia deeply connected to Malaysia, even though I've never actually physically visited. You've brought it home to me. So thank you for that. And also about the maintaining and passing on of traditional cultures and local languages as well. That's been a really interesting aspect that we haven't explored enough, but has been really fascinating. But it's not about my learning, it's about our learning, your learning on the course. So what I would like to do, with your permission, is to just read out a little bit that I've noted down about each of you participants, and to award each of you your CREST course completion certificate. And I would like to say that after this meeting, I'm going to send an email to each of you, which includes the certificate, but also gives comments from me to you individually about what you have brought to this course as a participant, but also particularly about your mini project presentation, where you presented an aspect of your learning during this course, and also a comment about your final storytelling that you did last Friday and Saturday, which was so rich. So is that okay with everybody if we proceed in that fashion? Okay, so I'm going to begin with the one person in the course that I met even before the course began, and that's Lim Lai Po. Because Lim Lai Po, you introduced me to storytelling in Malaysia when I watched the webinar that you gave a few months ago, or was it longer than that? Maybe it was a year ago. And you talked about the amazing storytelling activities and projects that you've been doing with your students. And I was thinking, wow, what can I learn from Lai Po, as well as what can Lai Po learn from us together? Your presentation that you gave Lai Po is a richly detailed lesson plan, and it incorporates many of the elements and techniques that we've been exploring on the course. So you focus on the moral values and the cultural connection. And then in the story, you focus a lot on character voice, mannerisms, choral repetition, frequent stopping and predicting activities. And all of those were present when you shared the story with us live. It was so engaging. Your experience as a classroom storyteller for a number of years, dare I say, really shines through. And I was fascinated to learn that once a month in your school you give a moral values lesson, and that's where storytelling fits in your curriculum, and you find storytelling the ideal way to deliver this. So can we award Lai Po the first of these richly deserved CREST certificates?
Yes, congratulations. Okay, let me see. Oh my god, we can have that thing. The emoji. Ooh, I like it.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. And you'll
Yay.
get that as an attachment shortly. Wonderful. Congratulations, Lipo. Now I'm going to put Lipo on the spot. I haven't prepared you for this, Lipo, but if you're willing to, please switch on your microphone. This meeting is being recorded. Is there anything you would like to say about, in just a few seconds, about something that you've learned and something you're taking away from doing this CREST course with the support of Dao Dao and the Simon Greenall Award? And can I ask everybody else to mute except for Lipo?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say I'm very happy and thankful that I'm chosen for this course. I learned a lot from you, David, particularly on how to get the students' interest at the beginning, especially your singing bowl. I'm definitely going to get one of that. It really impressed me on that one, the singing bowl. And also, yes, that's the one. I'm going to look for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I'm very sure my students will be captivated by that. And then another thing that I learned from you and from this course is the questions. Instead of the things that I have always been doing, the things that I have not been doing is the questions and the pictures. When you tell the story and the student continue drawing, these things, I'm definitely going to do it in my class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lipo. Thank you, Lipo. Could we come back to them? Could we stop sharing the screen, if that's okay? Thank you very much. I think we only need to show the certificate for a few seconds because we really want to see the faces of the participants. Lipo, you have been an inspiration. Binsos Omisang, I don't think has made it into the room yet, so I'll come back to Binsos in case he joins us later. Let me just see who's in the room. Okay, so I'm going to talk about KY. Wong Kian Yong. Hi, Wong Kian Yong. It's wonderful that you're here. And your presentation is such an eloquent expression, an exposition of the vital role storytelling plays in young learners' development as language users, both as listeners and speakers. And I particularly appreciate your insights regarding lowering the affective filter and memorability, how stories are so memorable and the language within stories. And the videos that you shared, KY, are testaments to the enthusiasm and willingness you put your learning into practice immediately. And the fourth year students' performance that you showed made me laugh so hard. I mean, I just belly laughed watching that performance with the boy pretending to be the big pan in the story. That was hilarious. I wish I could share it with you all at this moment, but I guess we haven't quite got time for that. And then the final storytelling, the live storytelling, Sion's Misfortune, was such an excellent demonstration of how to engross young learners in storytelling. The repeated refrain combined with the gesture, and it worked beautifully. It made great sense to take a story from the Chinese heritage, which you share with most of the students that you teach. So that was a wonderful example of recognizing cultural heritage as well. So let's award Wong Kian Yong your certificate. And again, KY, if you're willing to, please just share with us, just for a few seconds, something that you're taking away from doing the CREST course into your practice.
Hi, David. Hello, everybody. I would say the biggest insight that I'll take away is my perceptions towards storytelling. Initially, storytelling to me is just a person or someone standing in front of the stage sharing the story, and that's it. But after this course, it has changed my perceptions on how I can engage as a storyteller, engage my pupils to be part of the story, where a lot of activities where I can pause in between, where I can engage the pupils to repeat after me, to do the actions. There's a lot of taking aways that I think David has taught me a lot. That really changed my perceptions towards storytelling. I would say this is a very memorable and very significant experience for me as an English language teacher. And this experience itself is going to bring me, and it's going to be, I'm going to share a lot of knowledge of this to my teachers on how storytelling can really make a big impact to the pupils, especially because we are in Malaysia, we are actually learning English as our second language, as where David actually proposed on how I mixed up the language, where I picked up in the old mother tongue and I continue with in English. It actually engaged my pupils better, and they are able to focus more. So these are some significant insights for me throughout the course, and that is going to be something that I'm going to put it into my classroom practice. Thank you again, David. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me and giving me such a wonderful opportunity to be part of this course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, KY. And can I just build on something you just said in your words there was about passing on the knowledge not only to your learners but also to teachers, to colleagues, and that's a really important part of what we're doing here. You're all in a position to pass on things that you've learned here, and feel free to pass on all of the ideas that you've picked up with colleagues locally, but perhaps regionally, perhaps even nationally. And I would encourage you to share some of the work you did for your mini project in publications, through the Dao Dao project, but through other means as well. So I mean, just pass on what you've been learning, because storytelling is sometimes overlooked. And like you say, it's not the teacher, storytelling. It's not only that, it's we. Storytelling is a community activity. So our students are doing it together with us. Yes, brilliant. Thank you so much. So next, I'm going to go to Aini. Hi, Noraini Radha. Hi, Aini. It's lovely to see you. And Aini, your presentation and your mini project, it covered so many areas of storytelling that we were looking at on the course. Character voices. You were great at character voices, asking questions to trigger the imagination, and you chose the personal response questions activity for your for the lesson plan you put together, where students can choose the questions that they would like to answer. So that highly affective activity. And you talk about age appropriacy, how discussing a story with a difficult or a hard ending together with young learners can help them to process the story and consider meanings and alternative possibilities. And you told us that one story during the course, but then in your final story you chose to tell a global story. You chose to tell Goldilocks, and demonstrated using simple paper cut out puppets on sticks, and how those very simple puppets had a huge impact. Altering the pitch of your voice, showing different characters, you demonstrated as being extremely effective. So Aini, thank you for sharing your skills and learning with all of us through your project and story. Aini, would you like to say something?
Okay, hello, hi everyone. My name is Aini Rada. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. David and all the for the chances, for giving me the opportunity to be in this course. I learned a lot from Mr. David. I learned a lot from the participants as well. And of course, there are a lot of things that I'm going to apply later in my class. As I mentioned about the question about using natural props rather than using the audio, as we have discussed before. So thank you, everyone. I'm really, really happy to be part of this journey. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Aini, and congratulations. So the running the course wasn't without its challenges. Sometimes there were connection challenges, getting on the internet. Some people weren't able to join us for the whole of every session because of that. But fortunately, we made the most of the situation. I recorded all the sessions, and those were shared privately on YouTube, so they were accessible and remain accessible to everybody who did the course in perpetuity. So you can review them now. You can review them, to catch up with things that you missed, but also you can review them in 10 years' time and however long in the future. So that rich resource of your recordings and your sharing on our Padlet is also shared. And I'm saying that because I'm going to talk now to Mohammed Safwan Jebat. Hi, Safwan. Great that you're here. And your presentation, Safwan, is highly entertaining, both in terms of your expressiveness and then also the locations where you perform your presentation to us, and you cover every detail of your lesson plan in great, from the pre-teaching to the post-listening. I enjoy the way you make links across the curriculum. So it's not just storytelling for learning a second language, for learning English, but applying storytelling in all subjects, whether in English or in the language of instruction. And you place a lot of emphasis, Safwan, on students feeling safe. And to this end, you offer students the chance to create alternative endings to the kind of warning story that you share. And you went on to tell this local creation story expressively and in magnificent costume. You'll never forget your king's costume, your bright yellow gold king's costume. And I appreciated the way you opened that story so personally. A story my mother told me last night. It really made that impact of the connection with your heritage. And then also the way you got us to guess the meaning of mud skipper and used the photo prop. Using toys as props was such fun. And the character voices, unbelievable, wonderful stuff. And Safwan, you persevered with the course. There were various obstacles that you faced during the course, but at the end of the course, you caught up with all of the recordings and you came through with that fantastic sharing. So appreciations to you, Safwan. And I'm just allowing more people into the meeting. I should have made, actually, and it's not too late. I'm going to make Sia Hajwan co-host. So if more people turn up, then please help me to admit people. There we are.
I'll do so.
Wonderful. Okay, so Bavitra is in the meeting. Are you here, Bavitra? Did I see you? Yes, you're here. Hi, Bavitra. Bavitra's got her camera switched off.
Sorry. Yeah. I'll get it organized in a bit. Sorry.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Bavitra. I'll come back to you. Okay, so let's go on to Dayang. Dayang.
Hi, David.
Wonderful. Your mini project presentation, all about engaging young learners. You demonstrate how to tell a local story which is familiar to many of the young learners. So you chose the very well-known story of Sangkanshil and Sangbuaya, mouse deer and crocodile. And that's what you did in the mini project. And it's a familiar story to most of the young learners where you work. But supporting that knowledge that they already have, and you explained how for them English is not just a second language but a third language. On remote Banji Island, you focus on pre-teaching vocabulary before the story begins, changing pitch to create character voices, and in the video clip we got a very strong sense of the community telling it together. And then you told us the story again in the live session, and that was incredibly expressive. It was joyful, and you used mime and pacing. I love the pacing of your story as well. Sometimes slowing right down, sometimes speeding right up. So, Diane, congratulations. And Diane, is there something you would like to tell us?
Yes, of course. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for this great opportunity. I'm very blessed to be able to meet with you, David, and of course to the rest of the participants. I learned a lot of new things and great things. And of course, I'm going to integrate my storytelling in my daily lessons.
Fantastic. And I know you've just moved school from a very remote part of the of Banji Island, which is so beautiful.
Yes.
You showed the photographs, to a place nearer the town, but carrying the stories and the traditions with you and learning the local stories and sharing those as well. Wonderful. And now let's go to Beatrice. Hi, Beatrice. Beatrice, in your presentation, you demonstrated and applied your learning by making a recording. And what was wonderful about the recording you made, it wasn't only for us, it was for your 17-year-old students. So it was actually a real piece of teaching that you shared with us as an example of a wonderful example of online teaching. And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking in the room we've got one of the world's leading experts in online teaching, and that's Jill Hadfield. So it's oh yeah, she's put her hand over. It's true, she's published so much about this aspect, and you demonstrated such great skill with that. You made a recording which you shared with your 17-year-old students as an integral part of their online learning. You included interaction, and which is challenging when it's non-synchronous, when it's an asynchronous thing to actually get people interacting with you, but you did it so naturally. And there was prediction, voice modulation, creating alternative endings, use of local traditional costume. And then in the live session, you again told us the myth story of Batu Luang, the rock that ate the princess. But this time you interacted with us live. And as a creative response, you invited students to select questions from an extended list where students could make their own choices how they wanted to respond to the story, rather than the teacher prescribing what students have to do. And wonderful opportunities for your students' self-expression and creativity. So well done, Beatrice. And Beatrice, the microphone is yours.
Hello and good afternoon, evening, everyone. So first and foremost, I would like to say thank you for the opportunities to be able to participate in such a very beneficial course. Thank you, Mr. David, for all the techniques. Thank you, dear friends, for all the motivation. And I think what I'm going to take away from this course is the courage to be, I won't say a very extremely good storyteller, but as a beginner, so that at least I could incorporate it in my lesson, not just in lesson, but outside of the classroom as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beatrice. And I think several of us have lots of experience as storytellers on the course, but several of us, it's something we're thinking of ourselves as beginners. But really, we've all been storytelling all our lives because that's what human beings do. But it's about saying, yes, I can do this. I'm a classroom practitioner storyteller. And yeah, you take to it. There's an English expression. I don't know if you use the same expression in Malaysia. You took to it like a duck to water, and that's like so many of you in this room or on the course. You just are natural born classroom storytellers, and our students don't expect us to be, perfect polished storytellers. But when we share stories live in the classroom with them, they appreciate that we're giving them something of ourselves. They see that we're not reading from a book. They see that we've learned a story and we're sharing this thing we've learned with them. And it's a very beautiful moment. So yeah, well done. Thank you, Beatrice. And now, Niha. Niha, who's got the longest name on the course. So I'm sorry I can't pronounce your full name, Niha, but I thank you for allowing me to call you your abbreviated nickname, Niha. Your wonderful creative lesson plan outlined in your mini project presentation shows how you're incorporating your learning so effectively, Niha. The local, now forgive my pronunciation, Geganji Gunai Boya story, sorry about that, is used over 2 lessons, and you had the speaking and listening activities, but then you went on and we talked in the course how storytelling leads very naturally into creative writing, and that's where you're going with the second stage of your lesson plan. And when you told us the story in the live session, you used a lot of emphatic gesture, vocal expression, and playfulness, and we were deeply engaged. And your character voices and choral miming, where we all joined in with you together, and choral chanting, where we all joined in with you together, worked brilliantly. And I like the fact that the story included 4 rules for behaviour that we learned from that crocodile story. And you linked it in the way into the story to rules in local contexts which the students are familiar with. So you were looking at the language of rules that we have to follow. Rules that locals have to remember to keep safe when they go down to the river where the crocodile lives. I'm just going to mute. That's right, mute people. So yeah, and Niha, congratulations, and the floor is yours.
I don't know what to say. Hi, hopefully everyone's are having a good day today. This course helps and inspire me a lot, not just as a storyteller, but as a teacher. And everyone's enthusiasm definitely affect me in a way that I would try to steal all of your skills and techniques so that I could become a better teacher and a storyteller in the future. And special thanks to David for letting us have a sneak peek of your book too. Very, very effective book. Thank you.
Thank you, Niha. And I know we often talk about storytellers stealing things from other people, but really it's not stealing. We're all sharing. I think everything that we've shared on this course has been for everybody to take away freely. Everything has been given freely to be passed on. So, and that is very much the nature of the storytelling tradition. Pass on the stories that you pick up from everyone. We've learned so much from each other. It would be great to somehow, we'll talk about this, somehow keep this collection, this resource of stories that have been shared during the course. So, Bavithra, are you here? Has Bavithra had to leave the meeting? Oh, you're here. Hi, Bavi. Sorry. Hi, great to see you. And thank you for telling your story in such an engaging way, using mime very effectively to show us the crown, to show us the monkey's behavior, and your character voices were excellent. And then at the end, you ask us, what have you learned from the story? So looking at not just a collective meanings from the story, but looking at what we take away from the story individually. And yeah, really looking forward to your mini project. So Bavitra, over to you.
Hi, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for the knowledge, for the lessons, and for all the activities that was conducted. I really appreciate it because it's been something that's in me ever since I was small, representing the state for storytelling and stuff. So I am very, very honored to get this opportunity. So thank you very much, David and Ide and everyone else. It was very nice. I look forward to keeping in touch with you guys. Who knows, we could, get our kids to tell stories amongst themselves or something and online or what. I don't know, it's just an idea. But yeah, that's that. And I look forward to implement this, although I'm not teaching English specifically, I'm teaching German language. So I look forward to bring whatever knowledge and lessons that I've learned in my classroom. So
Absolutely. Applying it in teaching German, fantastic. In teaching English, in teaching local indigenous languages, in teaching Malay. All of this is a rich part of what we've been doing. It's plurilingual. And I'm just going to say a couple of words about you people who are watching the recording, who did the course, but for whatever reason aren't able to be with us today. And so let me just look through my notes and see who. Oh, well, I mentioned Binsos Omisang. Binsos Omisang, you had some challenges in the area where you are in Malaysia to join all of the sessions completely, but you persevered and you went right through the course to the end, and you expressed uncertainty about your ability to tell a story, and then Binsos Omisang, yesterday appeared on our Padlet your storytelling. And it was worth waiting for. And this is an important point for me to say to everybody on the course. The creative response, the mini project presentations. Not everybody on the course has yet looked at everybody else's mini project presentations, and I have learned, as you're getting from this meeting, a huge amount from you. So if you haven't listened to each other's mini project presentations yet, do it now, do it today, do it tomorrow, because there's so much rich learning on there. And when you watch Binsos Omisang's storytelling, you'll see what I'm talking about, because he takes the story that he shared with us, the book that he illustrated 30 years ago, was it 30 or 20 years ago, about bear and tortoise. And he shared the book with us on the course, but then yesterday he tells the story. And Binsos, you tell it so expressively, looking up as the little tortoise at the great bear, and then the humour in the way you told the story with the character voices. Absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to you. Well done, Binsos Omisang. Fantastic. And Ayn is not able to be with us today. And Ayn, again, fantastic achievements, approaching storytelling with special education learners. You work in special education, and you took the ideas from the course and applied them so brilliantly in the context with your special needs learners. You took the traditional tale from the region, The Fanged King, and you summarized that story into 5 memorable lines. So when you tell the story, your special needs learners can participate very actively in the story, physically, in a multi-sensory way with the story. The gestures, and they all joined in with the evil laugh of the Fanged King. The video clip shows how engrossed your learners are, and everybody make sure you see that video clip. It's interesting that you explained to me that you chose that story in part because one of your students has compulsively eats junk food, and the story is itself about a compulsive king who has a compulsion to drink human blood. Oh, really powerful storytelling. It's fascinating that you imagine adding more, this is my joke here, flesh to the story by adding more lines to make it more complex. So building up from the simple to the more complex for students to add more into the story, to participate more and more in the story. And I appreciate that you will also brief students in the mother tongue first. So you'll tell the story in their local language first before embarking with English. So it's building up that knowledge so they're familiar with the story already. And thank you for sharing the recording of your storytelling with us. Let me just check. Have I talked to everybody? Diane, have I remembered everybody?
I think so.
I think I have as well.
Yes.
So, the certificates are awarded. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us in this meeting. And you know, parts of this meeting may be edited and shared publicly. So thank you for sharing those ideas. I've reminded you to continue to comment on our Padlet. It's going to be open for another week or so. So keep looking and commenting when you have a moment. I know you're extremely busy people, and I appreciate the dedication and the perseverance, given that you were going through a very busy time, and I know that there were challenges regarding new grading and marking systems online during the course that were introduced by the Ministry of Education in Malaysia. So there were all sorts of more than distractions. There were all sorts of other things going on. So to actually complete the course in spite of all of those activities, a real testament to your dedication to develop as classroom storytellers. What next? What's the future? Where are we going to go from here? Are there going to be collections? Are there going to be festivals? I think probably both. I'm going to hand over now to Mr. Idek, Sehajwan Idek, who's been the tour de force behind this course, making it all happen behind the scenes, really supporting me with communication with all of the participants, sometimes cajoling and encouraging you all to keep involved, and being a real support to me. Thank you, Sehajwan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. David. I'm sure you have done an amazing work. I could see the participants, they were very excited about this course. And for the participants, all, I think about 10 of you, so you guys did amazing. I'd like to congratulate all of you for completing the course. I know it's not easy. It must be very challenging in Malaysian public school education system. I know you guys have lots of work to do, and you have to do it at night. And internet connection has been always an issue for us in Malaysia, but you guys were able to go through everything and then finish the course and deliver the storytelling. So yeah, so well done, congratulations, and keep it up. I wish that we can meet one day physically. That will be something that we'll be able to do, and we'll stay in contact because you guys represented Malaysia for this course. So that's something. It's amazing, and you attended the course online for 12 hours. When we talk about SDL KPM, that's the continuing professional development credit points, which every teacher, every public school teacher needs to have for about, I think, 42 credit points. And I think you guys are getting a lot from this, so I will work on that. So don't worry about that. So if you guys have any questions, if any query, you can just talk to me, contact me directly. And yeah, definitely, I'm sure you guys will continue pursuing storytelling. And I think in our context, teaching non-native English language speakers, we understand very well English language teaching has been very challenging in Malaysia. I think with storytelling, we are able to incorporate all of the skills. It's not just about speaking, it's listening to other stories, writing the stories, reading stories. So it's something that is very comprehensive when it comes to teaching language skills in our classroom. And I think when we teach our students to be storytellers, it breaks that barrier where they need to feel confident. I think we all can agree, usually Malaysian students, they can do it, but it's just that getting them to be able to do it, to have that confidence, that courage to do it. And I think storytelling definitely helps our students, no matter whether they are in the secondary school or primary school or kindergarten, for them to be able to play, to get that confidence. So yeah, thank you so much for participating in this course. It's an honor working with all 10 of you. I think,
Sehajwan, can I just say you're an inspiration, because watching when you put your application together for Dao Dao, and I only just came across those videos when I was preparing for this course, and seeing the work that you've done with storytelling with your learners in Sabah, it's a real, it's groundbreaking what you were doing.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully what we've been doing on this course is following in those footsteps. So more education institutions all over Malaysia are now going to be, starting to implement that kind of student-centered approach to storytelling.
Definitely, and definitely, David, I think it's important for us to acknowledge and to recognize. Since you mentioned the DAO project, recognize and acknowledge the Simon Grinnell Award and the people behind it. Jill is here. She's one of the persons behind that award. And Charles Heathfield, they have been mentors for that award too. So the goal of this Simon Grinnell Award is to bring people together. And I think that's very meaningful for us Malaysians, because Malaysia, we consist of diverse ethnic groups, languages, customs, origins. Like I'm Sabahan, I'm from Sabah. I speak Bajau, that's my native language, and we have so many things to learn about from each other. And I think in Malaysia, that's very important to bring us together. I think it's very important for us Malaysians to learn about this. That we have differences, and those differences, if we embrace them, it's diversity, it's uniqueness. And we learn to tolerate, respect, and understand each other. And I could see this among my students, because I'm teaching, in Sabah, I'm teaching a group of students, they come from all sort of ethnic groups, languages, backgrounds, and they are able to learn about each other's culture, and they are able to embrace their own ethnic identities, which I think is very important for us Malaysians to have. So that's Simon Grinnell Award. And talking about Simon Grinnell Award, if you guys check that award, Simon Grinnell Award is still up. It has just opened for application. I think it opened for application since last year, and it will close in 31st of March, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can check that Simon Grinnell Award. You can check that. You can just type it, and you can try to apply for it. You can win it. Even if you don't win it, you can at least make it to the top 3. And I think there are still some acknowledgement that you can get. And we won that the first cycle in 2021, and we have been getting a lot of mentorship, networking. That's how I got to know David, and that's how I got to know Charles Heathfield and Jill Heathfield. And we also became the first Malaysian to be a finalist for Alton Innovation Award. So there are lots of advantages that come with that award. So you can definitely check that out as well. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I think I stopped.
Can I just jump in again? Yeah. I just want to make sure, did all of the participants that are here present now, did I give all of you a chance to say something? Did I miss somebody?
Just a thing.
Safwan, did I give you a chance to talk?
No, you missed me.
I suddenly thought, Safwan,
I thought about that too.
That was my mistake. Safwan, please, sorry, even though Sir Hajwan has already spoken.
Yeah, it's fine,
please,
it's fine.
Before we pass over to Charles and Jill, please, Safwan, just tell us a little, just in a few seconds.
I suppose save the best for last.
Exactly, Safwan, exactly.
It is an eye-opening journey for me, because I am still healing from my mental health issues. I am recovering, and I'm recovering well. I'm still going to therapy. So going through this journey with all you guys basically break down lots of barrier, because I was a little bit unsure about myself, and I don't do well with humans, but coming down to share with all of you about my stories openly, made me realize that actually this is about this is not a competition. This is not about who are the best, who are doing better, who are 5-star. This is about embracing yourself while celebrating the others. I was surprised because I entered many courses outside storytelling, like acting. It's always circling around competition. It's always circling around feedback, and sometimes lots of people are using tough love, and it didn't dwell well on me, because I was growing up with that kind of environment, and it put me in a position where I want to end my life. But being here with all of you guys made me realize that this is just about being comfortable in your own skin. I know that this is more on gaining knowledge so I can apply and get my student to become great storyteller just like me. But this is about being comfortable in on your own skin, and seeing you guys so brave and confident and poised. And also there's no any negative feedback. I listen to these courses for throughout, even up until today. It's all positive thing. It's make me feel like there are a lots of nice storyteller out there, and I can be one of them, and I can be with them in different kind of journey. Maybe not only for this course, maybe outside of this time zone, outside of this Zoom, I can train the other storytellers and meet nice storytellers just like you guys. I was impressed. I felt so good after I finished my course. Usually I held back, but now I don't. I just be comfortable with my own skin just like you guys.
It's really interesting, Safwan. Thank you so much for sharing. And what's really one thing that I found fascinating when I came into this world of Malaysian storytelling was realizing that there's a lot of association with storytelling and competition. There's lots of competitions that happen, and this is a new concept for me. For me, storytelling and competition are as far apart as I could possibly imagine. So the idea of competition, so it's just really interesting that I'm coming in with a different approach, and I'm not saying it's the right approach. I'm just saying it's another approach. But for me, storytelling is all about community and sharing, and well, it's everything that Sir Hajwan was just talking about: diversity and inclusion.
Yes.
When I was young, no, not that young. I did a training course to become a professional teacher. It was called the diploma, the Cambridge diploma, and at that time I was reading lots and lots of books about teaching, and two authors that I read and everybody knew were, leading lights in the area of creativity, and have continued to write, and also in the world of, as I mentioned, online learning. And then I met them. I met them in person at conferences. I got to know them. We become friends, and they're with us. It's Charlie and Jill Hadfield introduced me to the Dao Dao project, introduced me to Sir Hajwan and Nurizilla and other people. And it's because of Jill and Charlie that this course could take place, who were the mentors with the Dao Dao project. So can we just give some maybe almost final words to Charles and Jill?
Well, thank you very much. It's a great privilege to meet you all, a great pleasure to meet you all. And I feel slightly, I don't know, jealous or envious, or I wish I could have taken part in the course. And looking at all your lovely smiling faces, imagining you in front of your classes with little children and older children, people with special needs, scattered around in different kinds of school. I just wish I could be in your class and enjoy learning from you all. David has mentioned sharing and diversity and inclusivity. And I think one thing I've learned, it's been a great pleasure to be, well, a great honor to have been invited to be mentors for the Simon Greenall Award, working with Dao Dao, with Sir Hajwan and his colleagues. And it's largely thanks to Jill Florent there and her colleagues in Britain that we were asked to participate. And David said at the very beginning, he's grateful about this course that he's learnt. Feel
we learned
whatever I have shared with Sir Hajwan and Nurizilla and colleagues, I think I've gained tenfold whatever little encouragement we've been able to give. I think the Dao Dao project, working in such an interesting country, such an interesting context, where you have so many different kinds of people, so many different traditions, so many different languages. It's a wonderful work in progress, I guess. And you are contributing as teachers. You work incredibly hard. I know what it was like to be a teacher. The pressures on you from above, from both, all directions on the side, from underneath as well, changes from people in government, exams, marking, all those things. And yet you, in front of a class, you're doing the most important job of all. I think you're bringing new people into the world. You're encouraging them to become not just Malaysian citizens, but global citizens, teaching different languages. At the moment, it happens to be English that you're working with, but you're just doing an incredible job. And I want to wish you all the very, very best, you know, for next week when you go back into class. Yeah, I'm in awe of you all. Jill.
Oh, I just wanted to, well, to echo what Charlie said, I'm kind of in awe of you and admire you all for your dedication and your enthusiasm.
Mm.
And I'd just like to say, you know, it's just been personally very rewarding to attend this Zoom meeting as a sort of culmination of our mentorship of the Dao Dao project. I really feel, looking at all your imagination and enthusiasm and zest, I just feel that's what the Dao Dao project was about. And it's been a wonderful thing to attend, and it must have been a wonderful course. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Jill. See, Hajwa, you wanted to do a screenshot?
So,
should we do a countdown?
Yeah, we can do countdown. So everybody, can you turn on your camera and give us your best pose? Okay, yes. Okay, Sophia's what? Yeah. So, okay, everybody, so I'll count from 1 until 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are done. So I just want to inform everybody that we'll put this on the news. So usually we can contact Bulletin Didik. I'm sure the Malaysian teachers know about that, and maybe some local news, especially in Sabah, because it's easier to contact local news in Sabah and convince them to put it out. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. You might be seeing yourself in the news with your name, so that would be a good thing. So that's why we need this picture too, this screenshot. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. All the best, everyone.
Thank you to all the guests that have come in as well. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah, there's one more cert we miss out. Can I show?
Sorry?
There's one more